fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got with the outside, both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up top!
Oh my God! Oh. Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Six very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go! Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my God!
God, what?
To the front bumper, and he hits him again now. Rayon Fowler into the outside wall.
He's going to pass nearly 3 cars down that front straightaway, and he's going to get them all done with. What amazing.
Lee to the inside goes Logan Cloudman is going to touch in. Pit press sideways. What a save.
Looks to the outside, and Cronkite goes off. De Jong into second place.
Going for the switchback. Oh, pinpoint driving.
It's howling down to the inside.
Trying this contact though.
Slide left to the racetrack. Chris Renner drives it back down underneath, and he takes that second spot right back. Joker goes to Garrett Lowe.
Garrett Lowe should take victory with all that contact.
He's going to try and make the move around the outside the parabolica. That's not going to work, but he's going to try and get the cut back here. Get the run out the parabolica. That's beautifully done there. Michael Schubert, there's a little bit of door banging as well.
Just 2 rounds remain in what has been an up and down, a topsy-turvy season here with you today and SimSpeed TV. This has been one of those seasons where you've looked each and every which way to try and find the best possible results on paper, and there haven't been any real guarantees there to show. This has been a tough battleground for pretty much everyone, and now it is going to come down to who has what in their back pocket. This is where battles happen. It's the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache. It is here on this Grand Prix layout. We set our stage today, and this is your iRacing Grand Prix Series, round 11 out of 12. My name's Jake Sperry, joined alongside by Scott Fountain today, pulling double duty on cameras and on comms here today. And, well, Fonty, this championship has got really interesting. And this battle today is to see who can seed themselves up quite nicely for the final battleground that is Suzuka.
Yes, you're exactly right, Sperry. Hello, everybody, and welcome to SimSpeed TV for another Saturday night that we join you here tonight. I love Interlagos. It's such an awesome track, probably on my top 3 of tracks on iRacing. I've always done all right here when I get on the sim, if you can call, finishing mid-pack doing all right. But we're here for some great Formula 1 action tonight. And, yeah, what an awesome track to be a part of.
Absolutely, and let's talk championship picture at the moment. The leader in the championship, car number 4 in the Fiercely Forward team, a team that's been nominated as best newcomer in the VCO Simi Awards. It is Tom Volstra who will be looking for best time possible. James J. Pinsker currently sets the pace at the moment on a 109.846, but for Tom Volstra, he has 83 points of margin to play with at this stage. His nearest rival, Javi Rose, in this race today, he's there on 83 points behind, but he has more margin to score points with the way that drop rounds have played out for him. Matt Wood is currently third, 99 points behind in the championship. He has a similar margin today to a driver like Tom Volstra, so he's going to have to rely on a little bit of help. Markela went fastest at that moment, but Volstra here looking to set on up for a big lap, then through the center S for the first time, but Volstra has the target on his back. He is the championship leader, and he is the one who has to be the most cautious today.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Sperry. We've seen some pretty good runs from Volstra throughout the championship. A couple of bad rounds early on in the piece, but yeah, he's been pretty fast throughout, really, and really quite consistent. So let's hoping he has a good run here tonight.
Well, he'll be hoping very well into the second sector character of this circuit. The Titan Twisty one through the Pinarino here. This very, very tough left-hander, and now up to the Beacon of Patso here, the Ducks beat corner as you go on through and now try and attack here down Mehulo and towards Junsao is the next section of road that he has to challenge. Then it's this huge run up the hill where you're full bore all the way, trying to get as much of a run towards the start-finish line through the likes of Arki Bankadas and Desquito dos Boxes, making the charge over. We'll see what Volstra can do. Matt Wood is now up at the top, 109.612. That's a 109.7 from Tom Volstra. So that puts him at the moment third position right now behind Tapio Markula and Matt Wood. And there are still a handful of drivers yet to set some times. Bartosic, Buffton, Javi Rose, Freckleton, John Pat Kelly, and maybe a surprising character here today, Christian Steele.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We're going to see some great racing. Javi Rose, he's, last round was a terrible round. He got tangled up, if I can remember rightly, quite early on in the piece, and, didn't quite recover from that, but his pace certainly looks okay at the moment. Let's see what the second lap can do for him, though.
He is down 0.6 of a second at the moment and in 12th position, so he is there in trouble, and that is the lap abandoned, so he will start no better than the 6th row of the grid right now, which is a disaster right now for him. How is that going to play out as the likes of Tom Volstra is going to try and get over the line for his second lap? There's James J. Pinsker on screen. He's currently in 4th position right now, but Volstra's coming to the line and does a 7.53, so did improve his time, but not his position. Oh, so very crucially out there on track. Pinsker is on his second lap, 109.8 he's got at the moment. Still searching for that first win of the season here on SimSpeed TV. He's come very close early on, Fonty, at tracks like Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Incredible pace. These cars are tough to drive, and with running this McLaren MP4, we've seen tyre change become a big part of Grand Prix racing, and it's really brought a whole new mix into it. So we've seen a bunch of new drivers come on board for this season, and hopefully next season we'll see even better.
Absolutely. Pinsker just brings the brakes on as he cannot improve on his representative flying lap. We're down to 1 minute 33. We know Javi Rose will not be on a lap time. He has finished his 2 retrospective laps, and I don't think we'll be able to get anything going. John Pat Kelly will be trying to do better than 16th position at the moment. He's 8 seconds off the pace. This has been a pedestrian run so far, but we'll see how good this final section is going through the left and up the hill. Bartosic up into 14th position, which will jump a couple drivers down. Anthony Catt moves up into the top 10 on his qualifying time, but John Pat Kelly dives down into the lane. He won't be able to finish his flying lap. It's a quick lap around here, only 69 seconds, the nicest of seconds around this lap. But Fonty, it is worth saying here, in terms of the drivers who are out there who can complete their lap times, there is only one. It's going to be close for Dylan Freckleton to find anything to move up in this 20-car field.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We've got some great competition throughout this pack really tonight. Let's see what Freckle can do. Oh, we've actually lost him here for a second. Oh, here he is. He's back. Is he going to make it in time? That's going to be the closer. I don't think he's got enough time, Sperry.
He's got 20 seconds, and he's there on the yellow wall medium tyres, and I think he knows that he's slowing it down. He's not going to improve. Nobody else out there on a lap. We are now able to take ourselves over then towards the starting grid to figure out how this race is going to pan out for all these drivers. Nice donut attempt there from one Mr. James J. Pinsker, but this is how everyone is going to be stacking up. It will be Matt Wood on pole position, a 109.612. He'll have Tapio Markula for company on the front row. Tom Volstra, the championship leader, starts from third with James J. Pinsker in fourth place. Luke Dowding and Cedric Beale make up the third row. Diogo Oliveira starts from seventh, and Daniel Bida is in eighth place. He's had a really good run in this championship this year with Stefan Chantal Knight and Anthony Catt rounding out row 5. We move over the page then to the 6th row of the grid, which has Matthew Muehlbauer there in 11th place and Julius Falbush in 12th position. Javi Rose only 13th. He'll have to do work here today from the middle of the pack with Bartosic in 14th. Then it's Griffioen and Veek making up the 8th row. Dan Buffton starts 17th with John Pat Kelly 18th. And Christian Steele, by value of iRacing, will start ahead of the Club UK&I driver Dylan Freckleton here today as they look to get themselves up onto the grid. They have 2 minutes to do so, or they start from that place known as pit lane. And of course, they do start a little bit further back in the gridding cycle compared to where the front 2 rows are. So what does that mean, ladies and gentlemen? It means that those starting on about the 3rd row of the grid have actually a even to downhill start compared to those on the front 2 rows who have an uphill start, looking to attack and looking to get themselves in towards turns 1, 2, and 3, the Senna S and the Curva de Sol. This is going to be all about good runs off the line. This is a track which does invite a lot of battling, so you want to be within a range in the opening 2 laps to attack with DRS on lap number 3. This hasn't been any stranger to issues and incidents in the past. This has been a traditional curtain raiser for the previous iRacing World Championship Grand Prix Series. James J. Pinsker gets onto the grid. 47 laps will start. They have 1 pit stop, which is mandatory, but let's get ourselves ready for action here at Interlagos, and the green flag drops, and let's get ourselves underway. It's a great start from Volstra then from the 2nd row. He immediately looks to challenge Matt Wood for the race lead here into turn number 1. Everyone filing on in. There's the outside of turn 2, and it all looks nice and calm. Wood holds on for the moment as they go through mid-pack. Looks quite nice. It looks like Javi Rose has had a good start and has gained 3 places then off of his start off the line. But ideally for Volstra, it's side by side into turn 4, and somehow Wood's got to defend. Markela wants in as well, but now all of a sudden, how wide do you want to try and get this going? Crossing the beams as they go to the Laranjina, and Volstra trying around the outside, still can't get there.
Yeah, fantastic start for these guys. I thought we may have seen a bit of a pile-up going into turn 1 there. Very difficult left-hand corner, that turn number 1, but everyone got through there cleanly, and we've had straight running so far. So yeah, great start for Javi Rose. He needed to make an impact there on lap 1 and not get tangled up. He is in the hunt for the championship, so let's see if he can take advantage of the start and get his way up there as soon as he can, so he's not going to lose those front guys.
Well, it's all about slipstream now at this stage, making the run up the hill. Everybody within the range that they need to be at this stage. Rose looking to attack here in the early goings as Beda has to go defensive. He's gotten through on Luke Dowding on the early stage of the lap, but look at Javi Rose round the outside of Anthony Catt and picks that one up nicely. He's now up into 9th place, and he is on a real charge. But look at that side-by-side just in front as Beda and Dowding here trying to work it out between them as they jam on the brakes into Desquita de Lago, turns 4 and 5. Dowding stuck on the inside, can't get any run going. And then Diogo Oliveira might want in here and try and go to the outside line to pick up this move. And at this stage, he can't quite get there, so Oliveira forced to wait at the moment, but it's the front where it gets interesting now as Javi Rose jumps up onto the back of this group. It's all about now Matt Wood being careful because there's 2 DRS zones on this circuit.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Great start there from Javi Rose. He's going to pick off another one. Can he hold it on the outside here? I don't think so. Diogo Oliveira not really giving him any room, but he might get the run out of here because I think Diogo's going to run wide. Oh, big slipstream zone down here. Is it going to open up DRS after lap 3? This lap. Am I right, Sperry? There we go. Pops it up the inside, moves up to 8th position. So great first 2 laps there from Javi Rose. Next one in line, Luke Dowding.
Yes, but he now has given the DRS away, and he's got to be careful here on this straight. So now here comes Diogo Oliveira straight back. Markela is trying to find himself in a little bit of trouble with James J. Pinsker, and wide goes Javi Rose. Goes through, but James J. Pinsker now in 4th position, wants to move up to 3rd, wants to start getting himself into this race a little bit more. Beda there and Dowding there together again. Cedric Buell's got by both of them and up inside the top 5 at this point in time, but everybody is now trying to settle into a rhythm here in these early stages. They can't afford mistakes too early on because they will be punished later on in this race. 47 laps is a long time, and they have to make that pit stop. So they have to make sure they are using as much as they can of these soft compound tyres. We see Javi Rose just on the fringes of 1 second at this moment in time. It is worth noting that track conditions here today, it's 37 degrees on track. It is pretty much a mediumly warm day for Brazil standards as the top four again go through the center S.
Yeah, there we go. I was quite surprised actually. We've seen no one loop it as of yet. There is plenty of runoff areas that if you do make a mistake, you can generally catch it. So we're seeing a bit of action happen back there down in the field. Luke Dowding, oh, he's going to slot it in the inside there. We've got Cedric Bell, Luke Dowding, Harvey Rose, all into it.
A speeder there side by side who wants to get past Cedric Beale, and he is going to get there, and there's not enough room to make that happen. Bolster with the fastest lap. Big dive down the inside by Luke Dowding then, and he picks it up on Cedric Beale, who loses 2 places in the space of 1 and a bit corners. Then as he tries to work this out, Javi Rose will want to try and strike while the iron is hot. And at this stage, it's going a little bit tepid at this stage, so he cannot quite find himself the move that he wants at this moment in time. He wants to climb up the field and get himself close, and that's the mistake that's needed there by Dowding. So Beale finds himself a way back through. Javi Rose is going to follow. He'll get DRS as well as he tries to attack, and surely on the inside, he's thinking about 2 for 1. Matt Wood sets the fastest lap of the day with a 1:11.328, but there goes Javi Rose round the outside into turn 1. Beale tried to defend off behind as well from Dowding, and Dowding still going to fight it, but Rose up into 6th. And look at this now. Suddenly, Cat's on the back with Oliveira.
Here we go. We're going to have a 3-wide battle here. Oh, not quite. No. They give each other respect. Oh, but that's going to be Dowding firing it off on the outside there. We've got... Oh, this is an intense little battle.
Got 6th train right now because they're holding each other up so much. Is Luke Dowding all of a sudden? Chantal on the back. You got Falbouche on the back as well, which is going to make things even more awkward, and it will continue on. And this is the issue with a mid-pack train. It's the fact that everybody has DRS here, Fonty, and it's not going to be in a position to really get themselves the best run possible to give themselves the chance to just break away and make those moves. They're going to be stuck for a while.
Yeah, well, it's a tough track. Although it's quite open and fast, it's really short. So, you know, your passing opportunities are a bit minimal, and you have to really be committed, especially into this turn 1. And if you make a mistake, you can generally find yourself wiping the other car out, as it's such a tight left-hander and then into the right-hander, and then this awesome long straight here. Great passing opportunity into here as we're seeing 2 cars go side by side, but you can...
Matthew Mulbauer, who is there and is trying to stay with Dan Buffton in the bright orange car at this stage. And Fonty, wouldn't you say at this moment in time, whilst you fix the issues that we've got right now, that every single position matters, especially in a field like this, because when you've only got 20 drivers, those gaps between points really do escalate.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Looks like we have fixed the stream, so do apologise there to everyone. Not too sure what the issue was there, but we are back live and we look like we're going alright. So back to the racing, lap 11 of 47. It's going to be interesting to see when these guys make a stop, as we are seeing Cedric Beale up the inside there of Chantal. He's going to make that move. Done. We got Diego Oliveira. He's in the lane. Quick stop here for him. What tyres? Well, we're going to see the medium tyre for him. So he's going to drop right back, but is he going to be able to make those tyres last the distance?
Well, he'll be hoping to. He's got to go 36 laps on that set. Bartosic wants to try and attack from the Virginias. He thinks about the inside up at the horseshoe corner, Ferradura, and has he got enough to get himself into the Laranjina without any issues at all? Down the inside, position made. So he finds himself up now into net 11th at the moment. And look there just behind, that's Mulbauer trying to find himself an opportunity to go through on Buffton, but he's having none of it. Now, this is where drivers are going to be starting to hit the wall if they've been a little bit aggressive in terms of the tyre life. And I've just been keeping an eye on James J. Pinsker as well. He's brought the gap down in the battle, as we saw a little bit of side-by-side there going through, down to just half a second. He's really making those tyres work when he needs to.
Yeah, you're exactly right. He is. He's just hanging on the back there, so he's within drafting range. Be able to save a bit of fuel and just hang there, and then I think try and take advantage after the stop would be the strategy I'd want to play. Harvey Rose, though, I think he's lost a bit of ground there to Makela. 3.1 seconds at this current stage. I reckon he's probably worn out those soft tyres and struggling for pace. 0.3 of a second slower on that last lap by from the car in front of him. He is slightly faster than Dowding behind him though. Closest battle that we have on track, other than those front two, is this battle right here. Anthony Cat all over the back of Dowding.
Wanted to get through. Dowding runs a little wide, though, through the Duck's Bill. And look at this. Around the outside on Mahulo.
Well
Anthony Cat has just put a worldie of a move there on one Mr. Luke Dowding.
Oh, there we go.
Now we
Wood
got
in the
pitted
pit lane.
Matt Wood is going to come in with Tom Volstra, both of whom's tyres were starting to struggle. So the Championship 2 start to decide to come down to the lane. This gives Pinsker the lead, Markler into second, and Roast now up into third. So now, how good are you going to be up and down on the tyres? And it's going to be a race out of the pit. And he's absolutely nailed him, because look at this. Where on earth is Matt Wood going to come out? He's going to be stuck for 15 seconds for speeding onto the lane.
Oh, absolutely gutted there for Wood. He'll be kicking himself because he had that one sorted, but pit lane speeding penalty, that'll do it, and it's the longest 15 seconds that he'll have to wait. He's still waiting, so maybe it's longer than that, Sperry, because we're at 30 seconds now. There we go. We're going to see him move in a minute here. No, we still haven't seen him move. It's close to 40 seconds now, and he's still sitting there.
Could be a failure of some kind.
Yeah, possibly.
We have no idea what's
here he
happening
goes.
here, but
45 seconds
a long,
in total.
long wait.
Race done for him. This has just given it to Volstra.
It has. It's given the race over to Volstra, but for Matt Wood, he's not out to the championship fight just yet. He knows it was going to be tough to close down any more points on one Mr. Tom Volstra, but Volstra takes one less rival now in terms of this race over to where he needs to. His main focus now will be on the driver in third place who's just dived into the pits, Javi Rose. Now look at everybody that's come in. Rose has really dropped back though on that stint. He has got himself now with those who have already coming in, the likes of Cats and Co. And I am just a little bit concerned with what happened to Javi Rose over that stint, over that run, and whether he had a mistake. In fact, he did there at Jun Sao. He was just out there on the outside. He gets a half spin, and he finds himself in the grass trying to fight for traction. He's lost about 7 seconds there through that one mistake alone. And through all of that, it now puts him behind Bida and Oliveira, and that's Tapio Markela who's off as well. He's had himself a huge moment behind Thomas Veek, trying to fight through the traffic. He's run straight into the back of him through the corner.
There we go. I'm going to go back and have a look and see what's happening here. Is that after the pit stop, Sperry?
So with what happened to Markela, that happened after the pit stop, but it was before the pit stop where it all went wrong for one driver. That driver, of course, being Javi Rose. So Rose had his issues before, but Markela coming out of the pit, he is still behind James J. Pinsker, and he does take a little bit of time to try and get back up to speed again, but he will lose it into turn 4. Now watch as he comes out right into the middle of traffic. There is Thomas Veek. He's able to get himself going, and he's not going to be able to hit his braking point at the right time as he jams on the brakes, goes into turn 4. You can see he just plows into the back of him and round he goes.
Yeah, okay, that was... Maybe he was getting on the brakes all right for his pace, but not for the driver in front of him, and just outbraked himself there and went up the back. But it doesn't look like he sustained any damage. Just want to go back and have a look at Javi Rose and see what happened to him there.
It was before the stop. It was just before that. It was at the corner there, Jun Sao, the junction corner towards the end of the lap. We'll catch this right now here on replay. Matt Wood has just set the fastest lap of the race in pure frustration. You don't get bonus points for that in this championship, but look at this. Hits the brakes on the outside, and then the back steps around as he tries to go through. Now, drivers will try and use that little bit of runoff there as much as possible, but when you do get it wrong, that vehicle's going to have next to no grip to try and save it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Such a tough corner to get right. And one lap you can be going through there fine, run the same line that you did the previous one, but your tyres are slightly a bit more worn, and you find yourself in a position like Javi Rose did with a half spin. So he can still make his way back up here. He's got 12 seconds to the front. Now that's a bit of an ask to get back, but we still do have a long way to go. 31 laps left in this race, so anything
his
can
tyres.
happen. Yes,
Look
well,
at his tyres. They are another set of soft
softs.
compound
He's coming
tyres.
for another
He's
stop.
going for a two-stop strategy here to be aggressive. Looking down the inside and getting by Dylan Freckleton there for the position. That's the easy one. He's got Daniel Beeder there for a bit of company too, trying to run on through the group. And he's got to get by Beeder because this will be for natural position. Those in front, Veek and Steele,
Oh,
they haven't
round the
come down. And look at
outside.
Javi Rose round the outside to
Oh.
pick that one off. That's a wonderful move.
Oh, he's driving very aggressive though. Look how close he is to the back of Thomas here. Basically his front wing was implanted in that rear of the car. And he's made the move, all done. P4 here for Javi Rose. I don't know if Javi Rose will be looking for the race win, but he's just wanting to hold himself in that championship battle. He was sitting in P2. Looking at my points here that Sperry has kindly provided me. 83 points behind.
He is 83 points behind, but he is expected to gain here, surprisingly, on Tom Volstra if things are to stay like this. But now here comes the move. Christian Steele says, come on, Javi, I'll let you go. And just like that, he lets him go on cue. So now that is on lap 17. Javi Rose up into third position, but Javi's got to play the aggressive card here in this race, where other drivers, for example, will be on the medium compound yellow wall tyre trying to get this one to the end, as we see that one down the inside there from one Mr. Anthony Catt. He picks up places. It's all getting a little bit dicey as well behind as we get the big conglomeration of strategies now here, likes of Luke Dowding, Diogo Oliveira, likes of Julius Falbush, all trying to find a way through on Freckleton.
Yep, fantastic battles. That's what this track does create, is battles throughout the race. Doesn't matter whether it's up the front or down the back, you've got battles throughout the field, and yeah, that's why I love this place so much.
Absolutely, Beeder's going to go and get his move that he very much wants, but look at this snake as they go towards turn one. Freckleton still there on the brakes, on the yellow wall mediums, doing well, but Oliveira's also on yellow wall, but fresh medium compound tyres, picks up the up and under, will go a long way around the curve of the Sol. Which way does Luke Dowding want to go in the NHR esports car? He's got to think about this now. Which way's the right way? He can't choose a side, so here comes Oliveira around the outside of turn 4. Freckleton's got nothing to fight that one, and now Dowding attacks around the outside, trying to pick this one up, and just about gets there as well. And then you got behind as well, Falbush trying to get away through to get inside the top 10, and he's not quite in position.
No, great battles here though. Great move there from Dowding, running that soft compound tyre, so two-stop strategy for him. But great move there. He's moved up to 9th position. I think it won't be too far before he gets Oliveira in front of him, and then Thomas Wick just 2 seconds up the road. Oh!
Yes, but it's just as you say it there, Fonty goes around. There, yes, he does. He takes someone with him there, and it's Cedric Beale who's taken the hit and taken the contact there. Very awkward. He tried to get himself out of the way, and there was the hit that caused all the troubles. Anthony Catt through on Christian Steele, but it is going to be disaster for the likes of Cedric Beale, who had no way of avoiding that one as he still tries to find a way to get back onto circuit, going through Junstau here, Fonty. And the big issue is, Rule 1 of sim racing, hold your brakes.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, well, I think we put the commentator's curse on Dowding there. He was driving fantastic. Well, maybe I should say. Sorry, Sperry. I put the commentator's curse on him there. He was driving great, and then we were busy talking about him, and he lost it. So gutted there for Dowding.
Absolutely, he will be frustrated with that, and there is very little respite that you get in these sorts of vehicles trying to get things going. You take one cop on the suspension and that's it, race over, of course, for safety reasons. There is James J. Pinsker. The gap is 2.4 seconds at the moment, but the key here for James in this race is he looks really, really good when saving the tyres. He's driving like Jenson Button would, a very, very good driver of these sorts of vehicles, and he's trying to drive this one with tyres in mind to get himself close at the end of the stint.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That gap's just staying at 2.5 seconds. It hasn't really varied throughout the last 2 laps that I've been keeping an eye on it. But looking further back here, we've got a nice little battle on for 10th position. Falbush all over the back of Bartosik. Ooh, a bit of a wide moment there for Bartosik.
Absolutely, and this is where you're going to start to see Falbush trying to pick up the position, just be aggressive. Club DH versus Club Virginias at this stage, and they are all encroaching on Dylan Freckleton as well, so Freckleton could be falling outside the top 10 before he makes his first stop. We are on lap 20, so the halfway stage is going to be scored in the next 3.5 laps. In this one, on to 21 goes Tom Volstra, but that's a mistake by Falbush, trying to get the power down, the back stepping out, or trying to put that power down, and all of a sudden, you get Thomas Bartosic now attacking Dylan Freckleton up the hill, will have DRS at the marker line, and he's already down the inside, and you're going to watch and see that flat just open up for Bartosic, and he's already up now into 9th place.
There we go. Fantastic move there from Bartosic. It's, another side-by-side bit of action here.
Easy as you like. That is Veek losing the place as well. So Bartosic picks up 2 very, very quickly. They've got to be careful about running wide there, though, Fonzie, at turn 4. You get an off-track incident point. You only get 17 before a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and it's very, very easy to do here. You generally push the boundaries a bit further because you've got so much runoff area, but you can get yourself caught out, especially in a long race like this.
Certainly can. Now, here's Christian Steele. He has just lost the place then, or is about to maybe lose a place to Diogo Oliveira, who's at home circuit right now here at Interlagos. Of course, there are talks about this track being put off the calendar of Formula One in the next couple of years for a Rio circuit that will hope to be built. But here comes Oliveira with a chance, but he's not quite there at the moment. Christian Steele holding strong on his medium compound tyres.
Yep, that's exactly right. He is holding strong. He's done, seen quite a bit of, yeah, 22 laps. So Christian Steele hasn't made a stop as of yet, according to my overlays.
That's correct. And he's probably due in here, Fontaine, probably in the next 8 laps.
Yep, there we go. So whack a fresh set of boots on now. Will he put a set of softs on, do you think?
I definitely expect him to put a set of softs on and drive long enough so that the softs give him that chance to attack late on in the event. You've got nothing to lose being late down in the order as he was. He started right at the back. You got Dan Buffton now on the back of Falbush and Thomas Veek, who is due to come down in and make his stop soon. So on the brakes, through the left, you can see they're both on soft compounds. The yellow-walled mediums then of Thomas Veek, they are going to be screaming out, please don't make me go another lap, don't make me go another lap. And you'll see here going through, he's going to make them go another lap, and that's not part of the plan. Look at the run that Buffton's trying to get. He's going to send it from downtown to try and pick that move up, and he's gone and got it.
He did. What a fantastic pass there. Absolutely awesome. He was right on the DRS there and came from miles back to get it done.
Absolutely, and he made sure that he had energy recovery system available to attack here the likes of Julius Falbush, and he made sure of it because he's now up into 10th place here in this race. Your leader at the moment is Tom Volstra at the halfway stage. He's got a 2.6 second lead at this moment in time over James J. Pinsker. They are both on the same strategy, as is Javi Rose in 3rd place. But as things stand, Rose will bring that 83-point lead margin down to about 70 into the final week. But it will be advantage one Mr. Volstra at this stage when it comes to this Formula One championship, this iRacing Grand Prix Series championship, I should say, where he has been driving absolutely fantastically, keeping himself always in the mix.
Yeah, that's exactly right. To finish first you have to finish, which we've seen Tom Volstra do fantastically throughout this championship, and just holding that gap nicely there to James J. Pinsker. I hope we see a nice battle go down to the wire here after the second stop.
Well, you have to remember as well, at what point did they come down in and make those pit stops? James J. Pinsker pitted a little bit later, and he came down in after 14 laps worth of racing, so he'll be due around lap 28. Someone like Tom Volstra is going to be due in around lap 26, so that's going to be in 2 laps' time. Not this lap, but next lap, that he'll be looking to try and dive down into the lane. So Volstra now has to be really, really alert to how he's going to run. Of course, the less fuel they have in the car, Fonty, the less they're actually going to be wearing out those tyres. So maybe someone like Volstra can stretch out the tyre life for maybe a couple of laps.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And if any driver's going to do it, Tom Volstra is the man to do it. He's 12 laps through this tyre stint, so he's done exactly what he started on. And yeah, I think if he pushes it out to lap 30, then he's going to be pretty unstoppable, I reckon.
Christian Steele is down in on the lane. He's getting a set of tyres on for him, and he's going actually medium here to try and get himself over to the end. So a bold one-stop call, 2 sets of the medium compound tyre. This is normally a hot track, and it's one where you've got all sorts of different styles of corner. Steele's going to come out just behind Mühlbauer out on circuit. So you would say that this is one of the higher deg circuits, which really does put a spanner in the works in terms of strategy.
Yep, certainly does. Just looking here at Thomas Wick, he hasn't made a stop yet, so really pushing those tyres to their limit.
Wants to. He's got Stefan Chantal behind. We have lost Dylan Freckleton from this race. We are down to 17 runners. The 4 retirees, Ray Griffioen, Tapio Markela, Cedric Beale, and Dylan Freckleton so far, the retirements. But Veek under pressure again. Chantal will want through. The Canadian thinking about which way he's going to do this. Is it going to be inside? Is it going to be outside that he decides to try and pick up this move? Or how about how late on the brakes you want to go? There's the lunge down the inside.
Ooh.
There's not much you can do. A little bit of compression locking down. Round go.
Whoa.
Chantal, and that puts Matt Wood in the wall as well.
Wow. Okay, that's disappointing there. Wood will be absolutely gutted because he has had incredible pace throughout this championship, really. I don't know if he's got any damage there. Looks like a little bit there on that left front.
Yeah, the left front wing, I think, would be the only thing he's maybe run into and a little bit of damage with, but he had nowhere to go after Chantal's moment. He compression locked through turn 1, and when he went to turn for turn 2, very much, he didn't have the rears on the ground, so the car was always going to spin about. This puts Mühlbauer and Steele now right on the back of Chantal, and no contact. Mühlbauer straight into the back of one Mr. Stefan Chantal. When it rains, it pours.
Yeah, well, he came from way back there. Just want to go back and have just have a quick look on that as a replay, because he was so far back it wasn't funny. Just riding on board here.
Trying to open up this inside, and you can see he sees the door open, tries to get on in, and he just can't slow it down. There's the contact going through the corner. Very much, it was right of way for that drive. And then you can see, because he's locked up the tyres, he gets himself those hyperheated tyres, which you can get, finds himself into the Armco. And Mühlbauer essentially now is out of the race. We are down to 15 runners here in this one, but there is only one clear leader at this stage, and it is Tom Volstra, and he's now cleared by 3.5 seconds. There's Javi Rose. He's pulling away from Daniel Bieder in 4th place, and this is all that Javi Rose can do at this stage. There's nothing more to this race that he can do except hope that somebody of the front runners, of the front 2, as Anthony Katz actually just gone off at Jun Sao, going through all on his own, misses the apex and has to take an escape, which is a grassy slide up the hill. Very, very slippery. He's able to gather it up at the cost of Diogo Oliveira.
There we go. Just catch that one on replay. This corner bites again. Is he going to... Oh, very slight lock up there, but yeah, once you make a mistake on that corner, it's very hard to collect it, and you find yourself in that grass very quickly. But he has managed to keep the car going, not damage it, which is good apart from those front softs there. They'll have a bit of a flat spot in them, I reckon.
Definitely not ideal. Just keeping an eye out then on the pit stop cycles of drivers. Thomas Veek has just come in and he's got himself now onto a set of soft compound tyres to try and attack the late stage of the race. He'll come out in 12th place, just ahead of John Pat Kelly. So he'll be trying to attack here in the latter stages of this one. But just keeping my eye out, James J. Pinsker goes straight on at turn 1. There's the mistake that Volstra was hoping for. It's given him the daylight, and all of a sudden this becomes an easy drive home for 17 laps. Big lockup through turn 1, and Pinsker has to take the grass route of shame through turn 2.
Yeah, you're certainly right. Now that gap between second and third is closing. We're under 9 seconds now. But Pinsker was lucky to get away with that one, actually.
Yeah, you have to say he really was. I've just caught my eye out on pit lane, and Daniel Beeder's come in for a second stop. He'll come out just behind Dan Bufton. He was one of the earliest takers, so the positive sim racing driver, certainly hoping that he can find just a little bit more pace on the fresh set. If there's ever a time to come down into the pit, it's right now here on lap 29 here of this event, out of 47.
Yeah, you're certainly right. Just on board here with Julius Felbush. The exits the pits there. Set of softs. Is he going to be able to stretch it out to 17 laps? I think he is.
He's going to be side by side here on the exit with John Pat Kelly. This is a fight for position, and Kelly's got himself the DRS, and he goes through. Now, James J. Pinsker dives down into the lane here from second position on the road. He'll go up and down on the jacks and get himself away. Another set of soft compound tyres, 17 laps to the end to try and bring this one home for him after hyperheating up the tyres then on that last lap. He's got a lot of work to do if he is to put the pressure on Tom Volstra, who would have seen that he had dived down into the lane behind, and probably this is the time where he looks at it and goes, okay, time to come down in and make sure I'm not losing anything out of it. Bartosic also in on the lane.
Yep, I reckon we'll see Volstra definitely pit this lap. Well, we see Rose come in as well. Yeah, similar life on the tyres. 16 laps for Rose, Volstra 17 laps. He's going to stay up for another one.
He definitely could be around for another lap. And in comes Tom Volstra then to make his stop. End of lap 30, start of lap 31. Hits the marker quite nicely. There is Javi Rose at the moment in second position right now. And he's had a really strong drive here. This has been the sort of drive he wants. He'll follow suit, dive down into the lane, hit his marker. And look how early he is on the pit limiter. He's taking no chances right now in this place. And he's got an earlier box. Volstra here, I believe, is already going to be gone and away and is at this point in time. And look at where he is. He's on the exit. James J. Pinsker is only just coming through the Curva de Sol right now. So that's the difference makers in terms of the battles. And everybody else now diving in. Chantal Oliveira and Kat are all in together.
Yeah, there we go. So Rose didn't climb any closer to Pinsker. 9.1 seconds separating second and third at the moment after the second stop. So this will be a battle to go home. I don't know if we're going to see much movement in this front three, to be honest.
I'd look at pit exit here because Oliveira and Bartosic are side by side into turn 4. Bartosic has got the undercut working nicely and he just runs a little bit wide. So this will give Oliveira the opportunity to attack then, maybe up the hill to Ferradura. No, it's not going to be quite there right now, but this is all about what do you do. You've also got on the back of this Christian Steele, remember, on the medium compound. He'll come back into this one come the end of the race when those tyres in terms of life aren't really going to be working at all for those at the front on the soft compound. So Steele, I expect to drop back off of this group, but Bartosic then ultimately can't get it all nice, or has got it all nicely done the way he wanted to. I'm just having a look actually at Diogo Oliveira. It's actually Oliveira who's on the yellow walled medium compound tyre. So that's a really interesting decision by Oliveira to get it to the end. He's on the yellow walled mediums. Everyone in front of him is on soft.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And you can see those tyres certainly not up to temperature. Look at the gap that's happened since he exited the pit lane. Already opened up to 1 second between himself and Bartosic. Closest battle that we have on track is actually between Bartosic and Kat. 0.7 of a second.
Anthony Cat will be certainly hoping to just try and break away. He's been up 5 places in this race. In terms of the top drivers in this field, the biggest driver gain that we have seen so far has been from Christian Steele. He's up 11 places in this race, but the story will be about Javi Roche, who has gained 10 so far, and will hope that late on in this race he gains up to 11 and gets what he wants. But Anthony Cat here is forced to defend at this stage because Thomas Bartosic in a range of 0.6 of a second. Volstra's just set the fastest lap of the race on a 1:10.6, but Anthony Cat now, here in the final stage of this one, he's going to be looking backwards in his mirrors. He knows that Daniel Bieder, 10 seconds down the road, he's got no chance of catching right now without mistakes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. See, Tom Volstra, fastest lap of the race with a 1:10.6, so he's not mucking about after the stop. There's no slowing down for him. He's pushing out PBs.
He absolutely is at this stage. It was a 6:48 his last lap. It was a 10:09 from James J. Pinsker, lost 0.3 of a second. But Cat now is really starting to see Bartosic behind him, who wants to get through, jump up into 6th place, and really work this one out. Of course, they've got one more week. Bartosic does run wide in the dirty air, though, up through Ferradura. Has to take the alternative line, but is able to gather it on back again. But 1 week's time from now here, Fonty, finishing the championship off at Suzuka, that's going to be one of those rounds where anything can happen, and it normally does. A traditional curtain ender when it comes to these style of vehicles.
Yep, you're exactly right, mate. What an awesome track. Suzuka was, I remember back in '98 when I had my first F1 game, and I had the demo version, and that was the only track that was on there, so I know that track like the back of my hand. I think I raced it, for about 18 months straight. Loved it.
And there was a little half look from Bartosic into turn 1. Cat taking the wider line, trying to attack off the exit of the corner and give himself as much of a run here through to Interlagos. He knows he's at a disadvantage in a straight line due to the drag reduction system, the DRS zones that are on this track. So he's able to, once again, hold off the place and do exactly what he wants. We have lost Matthew Muehlbauer. We are down to those 15 drivers. Chantal 1 lap down at this stage, but there are drivers here inside the top 10 who have really had good runs up through the field. We've talked about Christian Steele. Well, he's under pressure right now in terms of his battle, just a little bit further down the order as he fights this one for 8th and 9th. Dan Buffton quietly going about business and wanting to try and make sure that this is strictly business as he wants 8th place.
Yeah, well, started 17th position. He's sitting up in 9th at the moment, all over the back of Christian Steele there. Fantastic little battle here for these two guys. Kept it clean, which is a bit better than you can say for those 5 retirees that we've got down there. As we've seen a move here done. Oh, might just go back and have a quick look at that on the replay.
Absolutely, there you can see just how good of a move that this is. It's up the hill. Anthony Cat there. Bartosic gets a great run here on the drive, and you're going to see this here, just how wonderful this move becomes, because Bartosic just waits and waits and waits and then finds the braking zone, just leans in a little bit more smoothly on the brakes and gets down the inside of Anthony Cat. Nothing you can do about those. That's a very good move. Christian Steele says, I'll let you go. And also on the replay, gets through is Dan Buffton up into 8th place. So that's another change for position. Worth noting as well, gap has come down at the front of the field to just 4 seconds between Volstra and Pinsker. It was a poor lap from Volstra. Nothing really looked out of place from the way that he was driving. Just had one of those poor laps that you sometimes get from time to time. And now Pinsker has to try and take that as the initiative. He's got to take 4/10 every lap.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think Volstra just needs to calm it back a bit and, you know, settle for maybe those 1:11.3s. And he will just be able to hold on. Pinsker needs to be doing lap record pace.
And of course the tyres will be falling away on both of these drivers, so if Volstra's got the gap, he's just got to manage it from now until the end of this race. James J. Pinsker in 2nd position knows all too well what he's got to do, and that is just stay calm and hope that there are no troubles in the future from now until the end of this race. Those positions that we've been seeing, a few changes up and down the order in this race. The biggest shock of all of them right now, who is down the order, is Matt Wood, who has actually just now got through, I believe, on John Pat Kelly and up into 12th position. He's had a torrid time of things today. If he'd walked under a ladder before he came in and then decided he stepped on every crack in the road, he has certainly had his fair share of bad luck.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Sitting P3 in the championship points. So, yeah, around to forget for him, that's for sure.
The good news is that he has banked enough points to gain in terms of this one, but not enough to Volstra now and Rose. He will drop points and drop back, and he will be with an outside shot of picking up the championship when we go to the final round next week at Suzuka. Anthony Cat then, still not fallen away from Thomas Bartosic. They're going to fight for 5th place all the way to the end of this one here. It's 10 to go at the line, but these drivers, 36 seconds off of the race lead right now, they want in and they want places. They're not finding it at the moment, but what they do need to do is just stay patient here, especially Anthony Cat right now. He knows he's just got to stay within that 1 second group, and he's got himself an opportunity then to maybe pick apart Bartosic. It's almost going to be looking like collegiate football. Whoever has the football last wins the game traditionally. Well, in terms of this one, whoever's got themselves in position last is going to get themselves maybe the opportunity to make the overtake on the last lap.
Yeah, I think so, and it is going to come down to the last lap, I reckon. Great paddle there, Anthony Cat. I thought he would have dropped off a little bit further, but he's certainly hanging on, doing a fantastic job. 9 laps left in this race. We've seen what an awesome race it's been. Plenty of action throughout the field.
Definitely have to say that much, and it has been one of those races where it is now just starting to maybe fall slightly into a lull. There is James J. Pinsker. The gap still at around 4 seconds, 3.9 to 4 seconds right now. Volstra is responding and is just keeping James at a arm's width at this stage, and that's all he needs to do. Now, here's the thing for James J. Pinsker. It's going to be another 2nd place, but he'd be a lot closer in this one if he didn't have that off at turn number 1.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It'll be a battle down to the wire, that's for sure. Might have even been able to gain the race lead, but that's motor racing.
Absolutely, it is motor racing and it's sim racing as well. Now, Diogo Oliveira all of a sudden might just be trying to get into the grill of Anthony Cat here in the 7th place. The gap is 1.2 seconds. Anthony Cat has fallen off the back here of Thomas Bartosic, but Oliveira, of course, on the yellow walled mediums, he's hoping that they start to come into their operating range right now here, Fonzie, and now he can start attacking late in the final couple laps.
Yeah, I think so. 1.3 seconds separating him. So Cat hasn't really lost too much ground. He's only 0.9 of a second behind Bartosic. But yeah, doesn't want to certainly make any further mistakes, that's for sure.
And of course, these drivers will be trying to get themselves over to the line. This will be their longest stint of the race, and they'll be hoping that they still have the life in the tyres to go out there and make things happen. This is a 200-kilometer race that we've got right now. It lasts normally around about an hour, and this is where we do see maybe those drivers have that ability to go out there to attack in the late stages, especially with this one being a 2-stop race here today, or a 1-stop for those who have been brave, like Christian Steele, for example. There have been a lot of places where people can gain and have gained, but of course we are in that late stage of the race where every position now means so much. One position change can be anywhere up to a 50-point swing in this championship.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And it is going to certainly come down to the wire next week, and I can almost guarantee all of these drivers will be putting in a lot of laps to try and get that championship win. Javier Rose, if he had have qualified a little bit better and not made that mistake at the end of qualifying there, I think we would have seen a bit different of a race, because he's the fastest man on track at the moment.
He absolutely is. 1:10.960. He was beaten by James J. Pinsker, actually, that last time by a whole 100th of a second. But the big key is that Tom Volstra is starting to just attack a little bit more and find those times which are getting what's needed. But you have to say, Harvey Rose has had to take the very difficult and bumpy road here today. Started in 13th position. He's up 10 places. It's a great recovery drive, but this was the sort of day where Javi Rose needed to put pressure on Tom Volstra, and simply put, qualifying in 13th did not give him that leeway.
It certainly didn't, and I don't think he's going to be able to gain anything further unless we see Pinsker or Wallstrom make a mistake at the end of this race. I think this is where he's going to finish.
It would be such a big, big shame for him to fall out of championship contention. If you look at the rounds that he's been having over the course of this season so far, Fonty, Javi Rose has had a pretty good run of things in the mid-season. Spa-Francorchamps, 263 points. Picked up 236 at Barcelona, 226 at Imola. But it's been Montreal, Road America, Watkins Glen, where his season has just completely crumbled and all his drop weeks are coming into play.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Last week, it was a terrible week for him. And yeah, the other rounds he's had the pace and he's, you know, been consistent. But just, yeah, 3 rounds and it's kind of put him in P2 for the championship battle. Not far behind, he could still do it, but yeah, pretty hard to catch Wallstra at this stage, especially with the pace he's got tonight, and we can almost guarantee he'll be putting in plenty of practice next week.
Absolutely, and Tom Volstra has got 200 points consistent across the board. The amount of 200 and something point finishes that he's had this season, and that I mean likes of 204s, 206s, 208s. That's been why Tom Volstra's at the top of the championship. Consistently scoring in and around the podium places. Hasn't been the easiest season in the world. He's had the likes of, say, Jarl Teyen to deal with. Michi Kaiser, of course, still has an opportunity to win the championship outright as well. He'll be relying on a high strength of field, though, for the final round of the championship. It's still not out of the woods here for Tom Volstra. He's got to be worried about Rose, and if Michi Kaiser turns up.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Kaiser, yeah, but disappointing he wasn't here tonight.
Does also mean for Michi Kaiser that he uses his 4th drop round, so this would be a make or break race next week for him when it comes to Suzuka. But Volstra putting 2 laps down there, I believe. One missed Stefan Chantal, so he makes his way through there without too many issues at all. It is starting to close back up in that battle for 5th place come the end of this one, as well as the big battle going on. Matt Wood here has a shot at the top 10. He's gone through on Julius Falbouche, but he now has a chance to get to Thomas Vieck, who's only a couple of seconds down the road.
Yeah, not too far down the road. 0.4 separating their last lap, so yeah, if he keeps that pace up, we're going to certainly see a passing opportunity for him here. But this battle here for 5th, 6th and even 7th with Oliveira just hanging on the back there. This could certainly get lit up pretty soon. Anthony Catt, he's going to looking for a move.
Not there just yet, though, and that's the key. He's been waiting on the wings, trying to find that one place. It's just not happening. Oliveira was the quickest driver of those 3 last time by, but again, the gap's 1.4 seconds. That's not good enough. He needs to be at least within 1 to give himself that chance. He's got 4 laps to figure this one out. 44, 45, 46, and the all-important lap 47 of this race outright. And that looks like it's going to be all about, can you get close enough? Catt really starting to get back into position to harass Bartosic here for a top 5. And he is just not able to get close enough. Again, that gap stretches out to almost half a second here. And once more, nothing you can do about this.
Yeah, looks like Bartosic has worn those front tyres out, just coming off that turn 3 there, that big long sweeping left. You can really see the front understeering pushing away. His Cat's just slightly reeling him in here. Nice turn in for that right before the big left. Now this is where you wear up fronts, actually, that corner. You get on the gas too early, you kiss goodbye to your fronts after only a few laps.
It's all about scrubbing speed through that section. You can see how he's really trying to just hold in the range, but there's a lot of corners around here that really do play with turbulences and dirty air, and it does make life incredibly difficult to follow in the wings. You can see how Bartosic goes so narrow through that section. Any drag reduction system or draft really gets negated. He needs a much better middle sector. Does Anthony Catt, if he is wanting to attack this one with 3 to go. Matt Wood is now on the back of Thomas Veek in terms of their battle down the order. This for 11th and 10th, and Wood now chasing here to try and get this one sorted. Here will come the chance. He'll go to the inside to try and pick this one off, and a top 10 ultimately now is in the back pocket of Matt Wood, who sends it down the inside and picks it up.
Yeah, there we go. That'll certainly play in the hands of his championship battle. Sitting in 3rd at the moment, so it'll be interesting to see what it all comes down to next week. Wallstra doing a fantastic job. That gap between 1st and 2nd, 5 seconds now. So he's really lost a bit of pace there, and Harvey Rose has gained on him a lot in the last lap. Almost well, a whole second between 2nd and 3rd that last time by. 1 minute 12 for Pinsker, 1 minute 10.9 for Harvey Rose.
Yeah, I think James J. Pinsker is just letting off the gas now. He knows he's not going to catch Tom Wallstra. He'll concede this one mentally and allow that one to be a different battle. Now, here comes Anthony Catt trying to find a little bit of a look. We've got a lap and a half left to go here in this race, and Anthony Catt is trying to really angle up through turn 3 to give himself the best chance for this move. We go on board and try and see if this one is going to be the move. It's not this lap, but he's got himself one more lap after this to figure out the top 5. And Thomas Bartosic here, who's had a really strong run. He started today in 14th position. He's up 9 places into 5th. That is the 3rd best gain in the field behind 2 drivers, one being Christian Steele, the other being Javi Rose. Does make a little bit of an error. This brings Oliveira onto the back. The last lap now will be starting for your race leader, Javi Rose. There's the mistake, and Anthony Catt just dives down the inside and picks that one up, missing your braking point by just a little bit. It's as easy as that, but is this a case of Bartosic wanting the DRS here to attack on the final lap? That's going to be another question that will need to be asked late on here in this one, because Oliveira is definitely wanting to try and get through on the medium compound, which will be now coming into its own on the final lap of this race. Any chances of moves then into the opening section? The answer to that is going to be a no, but I'm sure Bartosic will want a good run here coming through turn 3 to Curva de Sol to give himself the best chance possible. Oliveira looks a little bit too far back though and won't make the move. Tom Wallstra now takes the rise up the hill for the final time. He knows what he's needed to do today. He needed maximum attack, maximum points, and now it is one hand on the trophy. To Suzuka we go. Tom Wallstra's got the race win here once again at Interlagos. So there's Wallstra's smile. Pinsker will come home 2nd, and Javi Rose will take 3rd place, and a crucial 3rd place from where he started in 13th. That could be the drive, Fonty. That is a season-saving one, as it's still not over here for 6th and 7th.
Yeah, it's going to be on the last corner. It's not going to have enough, though. Is he going to be able to get him up the hill? Has he got a good run out? Oh, reasonable run, but no, he's going to run wide. I think that's it. That's given Bartosic there enough speed to seal that one. 7th place for him. Well done. So everyone battle, racing here, really?
Absolutely. Christian Steele will take 9th place, with Buffton getting 8th place come over the line. And, of course, Matt Wood was trying to chase down. He's 3 seconds. Just a little bit too far away. A torrid race for him. He'll get no extra points from the 200 or so that he scored earlier on in the week. So he has more on the horizon. Veek was the last finisher on the lead lap. So let's get official classified results in then on the board. Everybody over the line. This is how it finishes. Tom Wallstra picks up the win. 47 laps completed in 56 minutes and 43 seconds. Wins by 5.9 in the end over James J. Pinsker, with Javi Rose coming home in 3rd place after starting in 13th. Daniel Bieder will take a quiet 4th place. It's been the way he's been driving most of these races in this championship, with Anthony Katz in 5th and Thomas Bartosic in 6th position. Diogo Oliveira gets 7th in the end. He wasn't able to be close enough over the line to attack, with Dan Buffton in 8th. Christian Steele up 10 places tonight, and Matt Wood rounding out the top 10. Over the page, the last finisher on the leading lap would be Thomas Wieck in 11th position, with Julius Falbush, the first driver a lap down, including John Pat Kelly and Luke Dowding, who ran into troubles with a big spin earlier on in the race. Stefan Chantal goes 2 laps down, and then the retirements: Matthew Muehlbauer, Dylan Freckleton, Cedric Beale, who got caught up with Luke Dowding, Tapio Markela, and Ray Griffioen finding themselves no way home here at Interlagos. But we are going to be looking at 1 week's time, a season showdown here, which still could go any number of 4 ways if the math does add up. Volstra, Rose, Wood, Kaiser. Those 4 are fighting for a championship right now, but there's a massive thanks that has to be done to Moton Simulations on the replays for us here today. Scott Fountain doing double duty on cameras and also on the comms with me here today. My name's been Jake Sperry. Tom Volstra knows, though, that he has really put the gauntlet down to everybody else. It's beat him and make sure that it's points aplenty. It's all going to come down to that final round of the championship, though. You'll definitely want to be here with us for it. It's Suzuka, and it's going to be for all the marbles. We'll see you in a week.
Good job, mate.
This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction. He's got rid of the outside. Both of them. Maloney.
Oh, he's taken Anderson. Anderson's up top.
Oh my God. Big crash. Oh my goodness. Half the field's going to get rolled.
It's very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, here we go. Oh no.
That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?